Good morning, SA. Pastor Jordy here. I hope you had a great weekend, had some turkey and some pumpkin pie. I sure did. Last week, I just want to say a couple things. Well, there's lots of things, but a couple things were pretty fun for me and for our teachers. The awards night, way to go, everybody! Like that was a really fun night to celebrate you and your accomplishments. And so I just want to say congratulations again. As well, our Thanksgiving food drive was awesome. Way to go, everybody, for helping out. We're going to give you some more stats about who did what and who won what uh, next week. So just stay tuned for that. Hey, we've got a special guest this week on our first tour. You've seen her before. Let me bring in Constable Matlock. Hello, Constable Matlock. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Hey, so we've been planning this for a while. You're kind of our school's police officer, but we'll get into that in a second. I'm just wondering, like kids have seen you in the hallways, but can you tell us a little bit about kind of your personal life?
Yep. I actually have a little boy, a son who is almost 2 years old, and I have a wonderful husband. And really just have had a great life, policing in Sherwood Park. And really don't really do a whole lot other than spend time with my son and have goals to maybe do some swimming this fall and maybe do some bowling. I like bowling.
Cool. That's cool. Our staff went bowling last week. Pretty cool.
Okay.
Hey, yeah. Tell us why did you go there? I mean, there's some students in our school interested in policing. Can you tell us why you went into policing?
Absolutely. I was a small town girl in southern Saskatchewan, and we had only like a three man post in Saskatchewan. So it was a very small town. And I was able to go on a ride along with the police officers there and got to see what they did for a living. It was a little bit, should I say, tame in a small town, not a lot going on. You drove around a lot. But the main reason I became a police officer was to help people. And I mean, helping people can be many different things, whether it just be kind to them. A lot of times people call police officers when they're having problems and they're having a lot of stress. So I want to be there to do everything I can to try to, relieve that stress and help them in that time of need.
That's cool. You're a specific kind of police officer right now, and what's the name? Like the school police officer, what's the name for that?
Our title or our name is a school resource officer.
Okay, school resource. And is there a school resource officer in every school in Sherwood Park?
In the junior and high schools, yes.
Okay, okay. And do you have more than one school, or is this just your only school?
No, I have been assigned to this school as well as Clover Bar Junior High. However, there are five of us school resource officers. So if someone is away, we have to go and cover for their junior and high schools. So
Okay,
you don't see me at the school every day. I do apologize, but sometimes things happen at other schools, and I need to go and help them too.
yeah. How often are you at our school, like approximately?
I try to be at our school at least twice a week. The goal is to be there at least 3 to 4, but sometimes just life gets busy. And,
Yeah,
we also are allowed holidays and time off. So
of
that
course.
takes into play.
You have a son to play with.
I do.
Tell us, in a school, be it, as straight as you can or as much as you can say, what kind of things do you typically deal with in a school?
Well, in the school, I mean, sometimes we're called because something has happened where it might have a criminal code element to it. Like if someone was hurt, that could be an assault. If there was someone, a theft happening in the school, we may do an investigation. Vandalism. We also deal with bullying, which could be anything to do with bullying in person or on social media. So that comes into
Mm,
play with online harassment. So we tried to, talk to the students and their families and figure out what's going on, what's the root of the problem. And sometimes we deal with that situation, and hopefully at the lowest level where we just have mediation. We talk it out and we try to figure that out, where we don't have to involve, someone being arrested or charges or having to go to court. We just want to mediate and try to solve the problem at the lowest level.
sure. Is there times where you talk to students and parents aren't called or involved, or do you always have to kind of involve them as well?
No, no. If kids want to come talk to me at school, they don't have to let their parents know. I mean, it depends on the situation. If it is something serious, like if there's any type of child abuse that's happening at home, we're going to have to, potentially involve children's services, and obviously your guardians. But I would hope that you would feel comfortable just coming up to me, and you could even say hypothetically, someone I know, this is happening to them, and I can try my best to offer you advice and some guidance.
Okay, so let's do a scenario. So let's say you're visiting the school a couple times a week. You're walking the halls. Obviously, if somebody needs to chat with you now, if they need to chat with you about, hey, a career in policing, that's kind of easy to do publicly. Hey, Constable Matlock, do you have a second? I just tell me, like, where do you go to school? Regina, blah blah blah. That's
Yep.
easy. But if it's a tougher one, like they need to talk to you about something privately, and of course they don't want to be embarrassed or people to know, can they, I'm just trying to think, how would that happen? Can they go to the office like Mrs. Guthrie or one of our principals? Can they kind of quietly connect you up with the student? How would that work?
Absolutely. Yeah, any student in the school can reach out, and they don't have to give all the specifics to, obviously, Mrs. Guthrie or the assistant principal or principals, but they could say that something's really bothering them. They think that it's important that I should know, and they want to have a conversation with me.
Okay.
Have them reach out to them, and then we can find a very private place to have a chat and try to figure out what's going on. And my goal is to make sure that you feel safe, especially at home, but also at school. So
Hmm.
if you're not feeling safe at home, I would hope that you could talk to me or another trusted adult at the school, so that we can do everything we can in our power to make sure that you're not, scared or don't feel safe at home.
And let's say you're not here, like Mrs. Guthrie or one of our principals, they have your contact, like they can get a hold of you, right?
Absolutely. Yes, they can.
Okay. So that seems like it's a fair, I'm just trying to figure out the privacy of it and not, like if I had something tough going on, I don't want to stop you in the hallway when there's a bunch of people around. So I'm just thinking that out. That's probably pretty easy. I just go to the office and quietly talk to Mrs. Guthrie or one of our principals and just say, I feel like I need to contact Constable Matlock. Can you contact her for me? And then they'll do that.
Absolutely. And then if it's an emergency, I would really hope that you would call 911, or call the detachment complaint line. And, because I do work Monday to Friday, and I do work pretty much the school hours, 8 to 4. So if it is after hours or in the middle of the night, please don't wait for me. Please call
Good.
the
Yeah.
Park detachment, and a member will, sit down or try to talk to the student about what's going on, and then I can maybe do some follow up and liaise with that member that responded first. And I may end up, taking over the file if it is a file, or I may just, be there to offer you support.
That's really cool. I'm really thankful that because I know that school resource officers that wasn't happening for a while. I'm so glad that that's back, and that you're definitely a great resource in our school. So I just want to say on behalf of our staff and students, like thanks for hanging out with us and being safe. And so when students, if you see Constable Matlock in the hallway, do feel free to ask her about a career in policing, or if you need to talk to her privately, you just need to go to the office and they will connect you up. All right. Thanks, Constable Matlock. I hope you have a great night and a good week. All the best to you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay.
Look
We'll see
forward
you
to
around.
seeing everybody around the school.
Okay. Take care. Yeah, that was cool. We're running out of time, so let me go quick just with some announcements. So Nate, the school, is coming today, actually, at 11:45 in the Commons. If you're interested in going to Nate this coming up year or in a couple of years, you're certainly welcome to attend that session in the Commons right at lunch. Jersey Day's coming, October 12th. That's Wednesday, so that's tomorrow. Jersey Jeans Day, and that's because it's the Oilers home opener. So hope to see lots of jerseys tomorrow. And again, come at lunch right at 11:45, and we'll take a picture. No contest for that, so I don't have to worry about forgetting something this time. Picture retakes are October 13th. That's this Thursday. Picture retakes if you need that. And don't forget that the church is doing the drop-in after school on Wednesdays, 3:30 to 5. And they're doing the fitness drop-in Thursdays, 3:30 to 5. So Last thing. Hey, I just wanted to. I was reading in my Bible last week, and I was just struck by just once again reading how Jesus feeds the 5,000. Interesting. It says in Matthew chapter 14, it says, as soon as Jesus heard the news, he went off by himself. Now that's the news that one of his very close friends was killed. And so you can imagine maybe what he's feeling. He went off by himself in a boat to a remote area to be alone. But the crowds heard where he was headed and followed by land from many villages. A vast crowd was there as he stepped from the boat. And the next phrase is interesting for me. So imagine this guy, like he needs some time by himself. We all do. He's going through, I would assume, some pretty deep sadness. And yet, as the crowds came to him, the Bible says that he had compassion on them. Like, where did he get that strength from? You know, being God, we know that. But for us, I encourage you, because I see it every day, that we all have our own stuff going on. But I'm so grateful to see and witness many of you having the strength to have compassion on other people, even when you got your own stuff going on, where you're tempted to just kind of be by yourself and just think about yourself. So I just wanted to encourage you with that just quickly today. You know, I wonder if you wanted to talk about something in class sometime. What's your picture of Jesus? Is it a compassionate Jesus? Is that your picture of Jesus? And I just encourage us with compassion this week. The pressure's mounting a little bit with school, parent-teacher interviews coming up, etc. Our first report card stuff. So I hope that encourages you, and I hope this encourages you this week in the Eagle's Nest, or today in the Eagle's Nest. Greek or breakfast wraps. Pretty cool. Have a great week, SCA. Thanks for hanging out for a little longer video. I'll try and make it shorter next week. God bless you.